entering.
On 97.5, The Fanatic. The countdown to kickoff is on. Birds training camp starts this Thursday, and 97.5 The Fanatic is getting you ready for football. Join Anthony Gargano and Jason Martinez with special guest Super Bowl champion Brent Selleck and Birds insider Tim McManus for a pre-training camp football roundtable live from Riley's Pub at Valley Brook Country Club. The event starts at 10 a.m. today.
Another Eagles season is upon us. The city of brotherly love has moved past the Super Bowl hangover of a season ago. Some new faces have been added to the roster. Some former faces have returned. And a former Super Bowl MVP no longer lurks in the shadows. This Carson Wentz-led team is now 47 days away from opening the regular season and another push for gridiron glory. As the heat of the summer will turn to crisp fall weather, so does the focus turn to a dream of another parade down Broad Street. It's time for football. This is the Training Camp Roundtable live from Riley's Pub at Valley Brook Country Club. Now, here are your hosts, Anthony Gargano, Jason Martinez, Birds ESPN insider Tim McManus, and Super Bowl champion tight end Brent Selleck.
Oh, that was awesome. Good job by Coach on the narrative open.
Love it, love it.
Welcome to Riley's Pub for the Eagles Roundtable. Let's introduce the pack. To my immediate left, you read him on ESPN.com. You see him on ESPN, the television network. He does sports. He covers the Eagles. He's been doing it a long time, and he's the best. Tim McManus.
What's going on, brother? Must be football season.
He looks fresh.
Yes. Feeling good. I'm feeling ready.
Yeah, we were just talking, Tim. It could be a fun year, and it could be a special year.
I think it's going to be one of those years that goes deep into January and possibly beyond.
Whoa, Al, you're covering a parade again. To Tim's left, moving left to right on your radio dial. Out of the University of Cincinnati, 11-season NFL tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, ended his career with a Super Bowl champion. Woo! Chip, Brent Selleck. There it is. You're absolutely right. You wore that Harold Carmichael jersey at the parade. You still got the jerseys that hanging at the house? Did Harold sign it for you?
It's packed up in boxes, but it'll be at the new house.
Yeah, you got to put that on display.
When's that going to be ready with that incredible
Beginning of
piece real
September.
estate? Yeah?
Housewarming party
That'd be
mid-September?
I still got a lot of work to do even when I move in.
Translation, don't actually come over.
I was thinking like Penn State, Michigan or something like that. Saturday night be a good night, Brent.
That might be a good one.
To Brent's left. You hear him on the midday program every day, 10 to 2. He's a Philadelphia fixture and legend. Anthony Gargano.
You got the applause as well. I got my friends and Janie.
All right, so it's the Eagles Roundtable pre-training camp edition. So we've got the introductions out of the way, but what we really got to start is, how did we get here? No more Nick Foles. He has been sent to Jacksonville. It is no longer an Eagle, and his shadow is not here any longer. Darren Sproles comes back for another season, as does Jason Peters. An old friend returns in Deshaun Jackson. This is what you go into the season with. And when you look at it right now, Brent, with the state of the Eagles heading into this year, is it a special season?
I think it has a chance to be that. You know, I think the game always starts with the O&D line, and I love the O&D line right now. Obviously, you got to have a great quarterback. They got Carson. So I think they're set up. Obviously, season is long. They got to stay injury-free for the most part, especially on the lines. And if they can do that, I mean, I agree with Tim. I think they're going to go deep, man. They got a great roster. They got a lot of veterans that have been there before, and are going to lead those young guys. So I like their chances.
They're deep. It seems like they're deep, Grant, in a lot of key places. You mentioned the offensive line. They have a lot of depth there. They you look at running back, which really buoyed your run. You know, having a running game, how important it is to help your quarterback. And they got an array of backs that can do different things.
Yeah, they got so many different weapons, and I think the good thing is they got a great head coach in Doug and offensive coordinator in Doug that he's going to get all these guys the ball, and I think that's what really makes a team special. I think is when you're spreading the ball around, everyone's getting touches, everyone's feeling like they're a part of it. Doug does a great job of that.
What was the difference, did you think, in the offense from 2 years ago to last year? And obviously it was a challenge, and you lost 2 key coaching fixtures, which obviously from the Super Bowl year, which would change things. And then you had Carson coming off the injury. But what did you think? And I know how much you care and you respect Doug. And what tell people what kind of offensive guy he is as well.
Well, I think he's just a great offensive mind. I think, the more I've looked at football since I've been done, I thought about like offensive and defensive coordinators are so important because they really put guys in position to make plays, or they put you in a bad position in some cases. But with Doug as the coach, he listens to his players. So if Kelsey comes off, he's saying, hey, I got a feel for this. Doug listens to that. He'll call a play for that. But overall, I mean, he gets it. And he's not going to run the same play 3-4 times over. If it's a trick play, pass play, he's good at mixing things up, and he's great at putting people in position.
Filippo and Wright, the first part of that question, Brent, losing those guys, was that a little bit of a hiccup last year, you think?
Maybe a little bit, but I don't think it was too much. Okay. I think that obviously Carson and the quarterbacks were comfortable with the guys that they had, but those guys are smart guys. They know what they want, they know what they like, and I don't think it was too big.
T-Mac?
Well, I think it was. I don't think it was totally insignificant. And if you look at the way that they started games, really throughout the entire course of the year, they were about the worst first quarter offense in football, and that's with obviously a really good head coach and a good offensive team, generally speaking. So I think that there was a bit of a learning curve for Groh, stepping into some pretty significant shoes. But I think one of the biggest factors was Wentz's health.
Yeah.
We talked about not just him coming off of an ACL, and we've seen time and time again that players take usually over a year until they get back into their full form. But also he was dealing with a second injury for a long time during the course of that season. He had a broken back.
And that almost is more debilitating than the ACL in this sense, where you can't get the ball down the field. You can't get any zip on the ball when you have a back issue and that kind of pain.
And Jordan Matthews was talking about that, and he's as close with Carson as anybody. And said that when you play quarterback, you have to turn, you have to be able to make your reads, you have to, there's so much contortion that goes into it, and if you have a fracture in your back, plus you have a big brace on your leg, because you're coming back from an ACL as well, I think that maybe the expectations were a little too high for Wentz, especially given the second injury he was dealing with.
So Tim, you've been reporting on this, and was the decision to retain Carson and move on from Nick Foles as clear-cut and easy decision for them to make, with all those considerations of a couple of years with the injuries, the knee and then the back, and everything that went into it, and just how the team played with Nick Foles? Was it that easy of a decision? Was it a no-brainer that they could make like that?
A snap of the fingers, maybe not, but I think it was the clear direction that they needed to go in. I mean, of course, Foles endeared himself to this entire city, let alone the people that he shares the halls with, and Rory is a huge Nick Foles fan. But when you look at a big picture, can you walk away from the number 2 overall pick who has a ceiling as high as the sky? Is Foles really able to sustain that over the course of not just 1 year, but many years, or is he just like the best pinch hitter in football quarterback history?
Yeah.
So I think,
believer.
so I don't know if it's like, we just snap our fingers and Wentz is the direction, but I never really sensed that they wavered off of that.
Brent, when you look at, you were in huddles with both guys. What was the difference in the huddle with Nick Foles, and what was the difference with Carson Wentz?
Well, first, they're both really smart quarterbacks, and they know what they want. I would say, Carson is a little more like demanding, up front. And Nick is obviously more laid back, and I think that, even remembering him in the Super Bowl, he was calm, super calm. I think Carson maybe plays a little more emotion, as wears his emotion on his sleeve. But overall, I mean, both great quarterbacks. Getting back to what you were saying, Tim, I just don't think that from a money standpoint you can keep both of those guys. That was going to be tough. And you want, I think the organization has a lot of respect for Nick, and if Nick wants to go make money and be the starter somewhere, you got to let him do that.
You saw Nick first time. You saw him come back, and a lot of quarterbacks that are taller, Brent. They get better when you're in your 30s. Like you kind of feel good about your body. You kind of understand that the game really slows down for you. Did you see? Because I thought he just became a really good quarterback. I thought Nick kind of came into his own during that period.
I mean, I think he's always been good. I mean, you look at when he was here, even with Chip, and he had that 7 touchdown game. I mean, he was playing so well that year.
I think he was better this time than last. Look, like to your point, he was good, but part of it was scheme and getting
exactly. I mean, it comes down to play calls as well. I mean, Chip's offense is totally different than what Doug is running right now. So I think that had a lot to do with it.
All right, we're going to take a quick timeout, and we're going to get into the offensive side of the ball because I think.
Oh, we can't wait.
Yeah, and it's weird. Okay, you say that, Ed? Usually we're all about defense in this tent, but it's an offensive league, and this may be the best Eagle offense on paper right now that they've ever had. So we'll get into that and
Brent
much
needs
more.
to talk about the 2 tight ends.
Yeah.
Oh, T-back.
So you're like out of arms this
trying to
time.
That's not going to stop.
Yeah.
That's not going to stop.
632-0975. We'll take some calls. Also, get some tweets in, some questions for the Eagle Roundtable. It's the day before training camp. And when we return, I want Brent to answer the question, what it feels like knowing he doesn't have to report tomorrow. Because I know that's probably a pretty good feeling for him. He's excited. So back with more Riley's Pub at Valley Brook Country Club right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.